Brian Wall here. Would you take your paycheck, go to the bank, cash it, and then simply throw it up in the air? I didn't think so. But in a way, over the years, that is exactly what you're doing if you have old or builder-grade windows in your home. Even if you have a brand new home, those windows are not the best windows you can have to save on your energy bills. Window World has sold millions of replacement windows to homeowners like you, and Window World's customer satisfaction is the highest in the business. Please check Window World out yourself and save on your new windows and on your energy bills. Compare with other companies and you'll see Window World is simply the best for less. It's up to you. You can call Window World and get a free estimate, get the best guarantee in the window replacement business, save money on your new windows, and save more on your energy bills. Call Window World today at 904-443-7001 or go online to windowworldneflorida.com. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Tom has today off, but he'll rejoin us tomorrow. And goodness gracious, I hope we are talking about a victory for the United States tomorrow over Belgium. That game kicks off at 8.
We got one baby victory with the.
We sure did. Yesterday, it was about 12:50 p.m. when everybody's phone started lighting up with the news that Flo Balogun was going to be able to play FIFA. Did FIFA reverse
card.
Exactly. And look, it's exciting, obviously, for the United States to be at full strength. Every single person who's watched soccer more than for 5 minutes knew that shouldn't have been a red card.
Yeah.
And so it should have been a yellow. We never should have had to play against Bosnia without him. In the end, that's what happened. The United States still won. They won that game 2-0 over Bosnia-Herzegovina. And so now they're set up again tonight, Seattle. I wish we were in Seattle right
closer.
now doing the show. Yeah.
Not literally the opposite side of the country. And I think we talked about it with JJ on Thursday about how weird it was from the beginning when you don't actually even pull out either card and then it's just this review and then you're watching it slow motion and you're like,
it wasn't even a penalty.
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty. It was like all weird from the beginning. And then then Belgium tried to appeal it. That didn't end up working. So it looks like he'll be good to go tonight. And thank goodness. But also, I hope he scores like 7 goals tonight by this point.
7 would be good. That would be really good. He would be tied with some of the leaders.
Goals.
Or actually, at that point, if he scored 7, he'd be the leader. But yeah, if he can get a goal, I think that would be super exciting. And I saw all the posts about Monday Night Football tonight in Seattle football, which I do love. I think that there's this sentiment that Belgium might be more talented than the United States. Mm-hmm. And if you were to look at the rosters on paper, I mean, they've got guys on their roster that this is obviously not their first World Cup, and they've been very successful in the World Cups that they've played in. Mm-hmm. So maybe on
they're
paper,
mad.
and now, they're pissed off, which I'm hoping that they're spending too much time being angry. But I think the United States has a resilience about them. And look, that first game, that World Cup opener, I don't think any of us realized at the time when the United States won 4-1 over Paraguay, and Paraguay ended up being a pretty good team in this tournament, just how impactful that would be. And then this run. So as I told Joe and Leon, I'm already nervous. Yeah. But I feel hopeful and excited that we are at least going to see what the United States can bring to the table with the starters how they started this World Cup.
Yeah, and I think we've seen many examples through this World Cup, too, of some of the best we've talked about it's been closer than what they wanted. We just saw it with Argentina over the week on Friday, I guess it was. And so there's been several of those where you're like, oh, that was a close call. Absolutely. But then the better team comes out at the end. So you just hope that, and I think what JJ was saying pretty much is more so the depth side of Belgium. They're way deeper than what the United States is. Once you get to some of these bench players for the U.S., there's 1 or 2 that you're really confident in. So once you start having to sub players, that's where you're worried. So that's why it was such a big thing with full, because everyone's like, okay, well, you're already worried about having, some of this depth anyways, and you're starting with that. And so that was some of the concern. So I do think that's, a huge positive for them, obviously, considering what he is anyways when it comes to how the way he's been able to score this whole time in the World Cup.
Pretty much run through him. Yeah. Obviously, Christian Pulisic is a huge part of it. And I don't think anyone knew before the tournament that we would be talking about Balogun as being the best offensive player on this team through the first few games. But look, I think Mauricio Pochettino, to your point about the depth, I don't think he's going to go to his bench that early unless he absolutely
did it
has
last
to.
time.
Right. He doesn't want to. He did it against Turkey. He didn't love how obviously that result turned out as the United States lost that game. But yeah, we have had some incredible matches so far. I don't know if you ended up staying up last night for Mexico-England, but that game at Azteca was ridiculous.
Yeah, that one was one of the, and I saw a lot of people, I wasn't watching it live at first, but then I was seeing everyone saying like, okay, you need to go, this is one of the best soccer matches I've seen in a really long time. So I did turn it on and watch the end of it because I was like, okay, well, I can't miss this at this point in time. Yeah.
And then we've seen penalty kick shootouts. We've seen games come down to a penalty kick. Like this World Cup has delivered. And I was telling them in crosstalk, any of my friends that are sports fans, I'm not going to put the non-sports fans in this conversation, but any of my friends that are sports fans are watching more than the United States when it comes to the World Cup. Yeah. You were saying how you were cheering against Lionel Messi?
Yeah, I think I'm anti-Messi. And so there's a part of this, I think, is because I find myself doing this, and it's not just in this sport or whatever, but if there's somebody or something that someone really loves and like the majority of people around me like it, sometimes I'll be like, well, I'll cheer against the other thing because it makes it a little fun when you're watching games, whatever. So I have a lot of friends, like my best friend Maria, all her family loves Messi. They wear their Messi jerseys all the time throughout the year, not even just throughout the World Cup. They're big Messi fans. Obviously, United States has kind of taken over that, so they're way more in their USA stuff right now. Mike Jimenez, he's one of our friends too, loves Messi. And so I feel like it's always like Messi, Messi, Messi. And so I already was like, this is, everybody's talking about him. Maybe it's a little fun to cheer for somebody else. And then that game was wild too, and it's against such a small country. So the story is like this Cinderella story that I thought was really cool. And I was like, man, this would be kind of a fun upset. So we were out watching it, and there was like 3 guys in their Messi jerseys sitting at the bar, and then a whole table of us that were all cheering against Argentina. And it was just kind of like we became this like little family of people cheering against just because it was kind of fun. And then the game was good. And I think anytime you have a little bit more competition, it's fun too. If you're watching a game that you don't care about the outcome, you kind of want it to be a little bit more competitive. And then I was getting annoyed because I do feel like he was like flopping and then kept missing his free kicks, and he was like falling over, and I was like, oh no, he's one of those guys. And I'm like, I want a Holland guy. Like Holland's physical and he goes after guys and he's like very aggressive when he plays, and I like that type of player, I've noticed. And I don't know if this is Messi all the time. Obviously, this is only a month of me watching this like on a regular basis. But just in the glimpses that I've seen, I'm kind of like, man, I don't know if I like him that much. And I don't really like his face either. That's a part of it.
Man, they just got
like
personal.
Facial expressions he makes sometimes. But yeah, so I don't know. I just found it, like I found myself rooting very hard against Messi. And I was like, but that makes it more fun for me because now moving forward, I have things to cheer for and against and things like that. Even like hopefully the USA win. But if they don't, it continues to have other reasons. And I need that to stay like super intrigued, And so it was kind of fun. There were some listeners actually there, and they were all cheering against Argentina too. And so we're all high-fiving, and I'm like, you would think we've been like against, watching soccer for all these years, and maybe some of them were, but I was not. But it's just fun. It adds an element of something when you have like something to cheer for or against when it's not the United States.
Yeah, well, underdogs, I think, in any story are fun. And Cape Verde has been this, not just an underdog, but a team that has played incredibly well. Yeah. That second goal, we're going to play the clip a little bit later. But yeah, absolutely insane. So yeah, Friday we saw Australia and Egypt. They came to a 1-1 draw at the end of regulation, and then at the end of stoppage time, and so an extra time. So then they went to PKs, and Egypt ended up winning that game. That's the game where one of our friends, or a couple of our friends,
they were at that one.
Yeah. So I was like, man, they got a PK shootout game. That's unbelievable. That's some free soccer.
And that was like a 10 or 11 extra minute one too. Was that one of those?
We had
a few of those over the weekend.
Stoppage time, and then extra time.
Yeah.
So then the extra 30 minutes on top of all that. And then, like you mentioned, Argentina beat Cape Verde 3-2. Colombia ended up beating Ghana. This was all on Friday 1-0. And then on Saturday, on the 4th of July, you had Morocco beat Canada 3-0. So they knocked one of the host countries out. France beat Paraguay 1-0. That one was a super fun game to watch.
Really good.
I mean, Mbappe, every time he's on TV, he's
scoring.
Yeah, he is scoring, and he's also appointment viewing.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're looking for one of the stars in the league, and one of the teams that obviously going in was one of the favorites would be France. So that Paraguay game, Paraguay was playing super dirty. I was shocked that there weren't some cards being thrown around. Like, you're going to have one on Flo, a red card on Flo, and you're not going to. Yeah, you're going to let them. And Mbappe honestly was just laughing because they were being so dirty. He even talked about it after the game. And then yesterday, Norway-Brazil was a fantastic game with Holland scoring the 2 goals. And look, Brazil is a team that I think definitely one of the favorites leading into this tournament, even though now the European teams are getting better and better. But Brazil now knocked out once again. So you know Brazilian fans are not happy whatsoever. And then the game last night, England wins 3-2 against Mexico. That one was also insane. Harry Kane shot a penalty kick, scored a goal via penalty kick. Then he was charged with one and then gave Mexico a penalty kick. He's like the only player ever in 10 minutes to have both.
But all of that. It's wild. Like, so the names that we talked so much about, I remember the first time we had JJ in here right before all of this was really getting started. And that was my learning of, hey, what all is going on. And pretty much every name, he talked about Holland, he talked about Harry Kane, he talked about Mbappe, of course. That's one of the ones that I did know. And I did know Messi before. But all of these guys that you're talking about being these stars coming in have just they've been stars throughout the whole thing. And it's been kind of fun to watch in that, because I was thinking about it last night in the sense, if you were to relate that to the NFL, like if you were to tell a European that didn't watch any NFL, here's 4 players to watch and they're going to be like appointment watching every single time you watch, who would you name? And it's going to be a lot of quarterbacks, because that's kind of what it is in the NFL, but
then receivers and running
some
backs,
of those, those star guys that are going to score touchdowns that they'd want to talk about. But could we kind of put that into 4 people and say, here, if you turn on every single one of these, Buffalo Bills games, you're going to be amazed by Josh Allen, probably. But do we have 4 or 5 guys that are at that level where every single game these guys are scoring? I mean, I think I saw a stat earlier that Holland has more goals in this World Cup than Holland has in all their previous World Cup combines, with his 7.
Than Norway does.
Sorry.
Gotcha. It is confusing because Holland doesn't play for the Netherlands, plays for Norway. But they've been, I think, a surprise of this tournament so far, for sure. And then you talk about the viewership. I mean, I saw that in just the U.S., the United States-Bosnia game was over 24 million viewers, and they expect that number to be close to 40 million when you add in the world feed with the Telemundo and Peacock, the streaming. And then, of course, they expect tonight to be even more than that. So
I would guess it would surpass that for sure. Especially now because it's gotten more attention with the red card and all of that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The advertisers are having a field day with this World Cup, and it's been fantastic. But I would say for tonight, a couple of the names to note, and JJ mentioned Jeremy Doku. He's phenomenal. He's one of the guys that'll play on the outside that he's going to give our outside mids fits, because he's super, super talented. Kevin De Bruyne, who's been there for a long time. Romelu Lukaku, who's a little bit older now as well. And then Iori Tillemans. I looked up how to say that earlier. And then, of course, by now, hours later, I've forgotten.
Some of these names, I don't
Those are the ones, these names I feel like are going to be more difficult for tonight. But that's because they're, Finnish? Is that what it is? Belgium and Finnish, maybe? I don't know.
You're quizzing me now.
They're from Belgium. Let's just stick with that. But I think everybody's excited. And of course, the Frangie show with Hayes and Hacker will be at Twin Peaks from 4 to 6 p.m. today. So that'll be a fantastic spot to go. And then you've mentioned JJ a few times. JJ La Selva's soccer show, 1010XL soccer show. The instant reaction will be live at the end of the match. So hopefully he's
good stuff,
beaming and talking about a victory.
And places will be filling up fast tonight, I have a feeling, because that's how it's been every time the U.S. plays. So make sure that's perfect. They'll be there for 4 to 6. So go hang out with them for a while, watch the live broadcast, and get ready. Yeah, get your spot.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody, like you said, every place around town is going to be packed. And then lots of people's couches will be filled as well. All right, more to do on the other side. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
This is the place Jags fans turn to every day for news, analysis, and inside stuff. 1010XL, home of the Jaguars. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL. Installed by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
The Gators hoping for another big commitment to land in their laps a little later on today. Orlando's first academy cornerback, Kamari Whitfield, is set to announce his decision 3 p.m. live on CBS College Sports YouTube channel. The Gators still among the top 10 in the latest team recruiting rankings from rivals, but have slipped to 8th in the latest predictions for the 27 signing class. Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Oregon, Miami, and Texas round out the top 5.
Jeff Prosser here. When you need new windows or doors, you want high-end quality without the middleman markup, and that's why I'm telling you about Cash Building Material. Same premium materials, same beautiful finishes, but at a price that actually makes sense for your home. No subcontractors, no runaround, just their own experienced crews who treat your house like it's theirs. If you want it done right, the first time, get a quote today. Thank me tomorrow. For windows and doors, search Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Big Chief Tire Monday on helmets and heels.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialist for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialist take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Transmission troubles? I'm Robin Sidbury, owner of Action Transmission Specialist on Merrill Road. So come in and see how we can help solve your transmission troubles. We service all makes and models. Remember, get traction. Call Action at 744-0755.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
My name is Chris, and I'm a client of DexaFit Jacksonville. A scale only tells you your weight, but a DEXA scan shows you what's really happening inside your body. In just 5 minutes, I learned my body fat percentage, muscle mass, bone density, and visceral fat levels. Tracking those numbers helped me see real progress and stay motivated. Kelly and the entire team at DexaFit Jacksonville are knowledgeable, professional, and a great resource. Search DexaFit Jacksonville and schedule your scan today.
Hurricane season is here, and now is the time to make sure your property is ready. Weak, damaged, or overgrown trees can become a serious hazard when storms move in. Trust the experts at Lucas Tree Service with over 45 years of experience for professional tree trimming, removal, and storm preparation. Don't wait until a storm is on its way. Schedule your tree assessment today at lucastreeservice.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. E.T. here, and your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. And rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. And it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights, and wall-to-wall TVs everywhere. I mean, it's Twin Peaks. Where else you gonna find a scratch kitchen that's always coming through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late at night? Only at Twin Peaks, your #1 sports bar. Come on, somebody.
Hunting season in Northeast Florida is just around the corner, and Green Acres Sporting Goods has been serving Jacksonville hunters for over 55 years. And right now, you can lock in a summer deal on an AR-style 12-gauge shotgun for just $299. And while you're there, check out the largest archery pro shop in Northeast Florida and test shoot the newest bows by Hoyt and Matthews. Shop today at Green Acres Sporting Goods.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Tomato trying to reset quickly and try to catch Argentina napping. McAllister can't make the play. Lopez Cabral! It's incredible! It's remarkable! It's almost unbelievable! It's Cape Verde for a second time tonight, tying the game!
It was unbelievable that Sydney Lopez Cabral, but unfortunately Cape Verde didn't get it done, and Argentina went on to win 3-2 on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can always get in on the conversation, 904-641-1010. Being anti-Messi right now might be the most American thing you can be doing.
Good. I'm glad I'm on the right page. That's what the Cape Verde goalie was like. he was playing out of his mind, and it was so fun to watch him. And then they were
super
saying
famous
again, they're like, he's 40 years old, this oldest man in history to play this. I'm like, we got to stop saying some of these things.
Right.
But yeah, it's really cool because it was like he was a 40-year-old journeyman goalkeeper that ends up like, obviously you're getting to round of 32, which is cool as heck anyways. And then you're playing Argentina against Lionel Messi, who's like the one probably most known, at least like to me, that's the one person that I've like known the longest that I could talk about, and it's not a sport that I follow that much. So it just has to be such a cool moment. Even in a loss, they have to be just so excited, even in that moment, to be like, man, we went toe to toe with one of the best soccer players ever.
Yeah, the keeper was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was so good. And every save, like especially with some of those free kicks, I was getting so nervous. I was like, oh, closing my eyes a little bit. But that's when those moments it just makes it a little bit more exciting when you have like that something extra to root for. So it was really fun.
Yeah, the Vozinha, I think is how you say the keeper's last name. But yeah, he had 4 stops on Messi, but like we said, just couldn't quite win that game. But that goal that we just played the audio from,
oh, incredible.
I don't know that you'll see a better goal in not just this World Cup, but in many World Cups. Like at the way that it bent, I mean, it was like a bend it like Beckham type of a kick, but like upper 90 of the right side of the net.
It was beautiful.
It was ridiculous. But last night's game, by the way, Jude Bellingham, he's not as famous as Harry Kane that plays for England. He scored twice in 98 seconds.
Oh, I didn't realize it was that quick.
It was literally like goal, minute goes by, 98 seconds to be exact, and then another goal. I was like, in my head, I started singing "Hey Jude," you know.
Then Mexico scored right after that,
and then
it was
Mexico,
like back to back. Then they scored pretty soon. Okay,
but yeah, it was fun. And by the way, I said Finnish. Obviously, that was not correct. Flemish is what I was thinking, which that's really Dutch. So the Belgians speak some Dutch, some speak French, and then a very small percentage speak German. But in their culture, they call it Flemish. So we're gonna learn something about the world as we go along, with the World Cup. I did want to talk about, for tonight's sake, do you feel like this World Cup has drawn more people that maybe even like in prior World Cups, even with the United States in, but like has this been bigger to you even in 2014 when the U.S. was making that run?
I think so. And I
in 06 probably
I don't
too.
really know. It's hard to explain the why of it because part of me wants to say it's just this, especially my generation, for example, if you were a soccer fan, you've been a soccer fan and you follow and you have your club or your leagues, whatever you follow. And I have a large amount of friends that are that. And to be honest, I've watched that grow within the last 10 years. And so like
more like English Premier League teams.
Yes, I've had more and more friends start to kind of find teams that they like, and maybe some of that's betting because you can bet on everything now, and so they get a little bit, more players and teams and leagues and all of that if you're putting money on things and you're a little bit more invested. So
and it's easy to watch because they're Saturday or Sunday mornings.
They're all the time, I feel like, and so maybe that is part of it. But I do feel like this time feels different because for myself, I feel way more invested. I was talking about it that 2014. Granted, I was 23 years old and I'm like in college. And so we're out just like partying, watching the games, which is still kind of happening, but that's what it was. It just kind of felt more like a social event than actually like, oh, I'm invested into this game. And now it feels like a different level for me. And it's not just me. It's friends that, honestly, I have friends that barely watch sports at all that feel invested into this right now. And you add USA, and I think with kind of things that have happened, and maybe it helps with USA hockey and then USA baseball, and then you also have World Cup. So there's been so much patriotism this year in general, and you have girls and like women and men's hockey, obviously, who both won, and the country's been kind of divided in recent years. So it feels like people can just kind of like add a little extra love to the country right now, and maybe that kind of buys into it a little bit. And that's what you win, and it's exciting. Like if they would have got knocked out, like let's say that Turkey A game did knock them out. I don't know how many people would still be so invested in watching some of these other games, but because of that, and I think because of some of the stars, I think maybe that's a big thing. The names that you talked about coming into this World Cup are all the names that like most of them are still in and they're still playing, and you're talking about them scoring goals every single time they play. So that helps because when you can recognize names a little bit easier and understand. But yeah, winning always helps. I think that's part of it.
I think it's the style of play. Like Mauricio Pochettino has been able to bring the United States to a level that people that are soccer fans have clamored for years. Yeah. And now it's all getting put together, and the United States may lose tonight to Belgium. But the United States may also beat Belgium tonight. And there's no chance that I would have felt that way in
like a month and a half ago.
Right. Or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I do think that there's something special. Yeah. The 2014 team was insane because they had guys that had experience, but were also still in their prime, like Landon Donovan. Right.
Yeah.
And so you're heavily invested into those guys that became American heroes. And I do find it fascinating this time around because we do have guys on the team that are very talented, like a Flo Balogun, that aren't traditional U.S. citizens, right? Like the only reason he's able to play for us is his mom got pregnant. We told the story, and they wouldn't let her fly back home. But there's some other guys too that like they won't necessarily fit in like the traditional U.S. citizen box. But our country has obviously gone completely behind
like, you're one
them.
of us now.
Absolutely. And I think that adds an element, like a Landon Donovan, a Clint Dempsey, like that, those teams, Alexi Lawless back in the day, like I don't think it was the same. I think they were all just traditional U.S. citizens. And so,
well, and I think that
that's
also
awesome.
helps with some of the narratives that are spread in other places about how America is. Like, we'll embrace you. And we're very much showing that when it comes to all the World Cup games that are happening everywhere. And you're seeing, whoever, if it's the Norwegians going to baseball games and the English fans going to baseball games, and everybody's just kind of embracing each other. And I think it's kind of like that's helped too. And I think it's been like, see, like we're America. Like we want to love people. We all want to get along. Sometimes our politicians tear us apart, and that's not our fault. But like we're way more than that. And so I think people have been really embracing that part of it too, which I think is really fun. But yeah, I do think the style of play when it comes to the U.S., because when you're not a soccer fan, and we've talked about this on this show, you always just kind of be like, why are they flopping? Why are they doing this? And da-da-da. And
there's not enough goals being
There's
scored.
not enough goals. And I think that with the U.S., you haven't seen a team that's like falling over and crying and being like that type of thing. So everyone's like kind of embracing that a little bit. And then in addition to you've scored a good amount of goals in this World Cup so far, and you've had the lead in a lot of these games and for the majority of the time. And so that stuff helps a lot. But the more you learn about any sport, I think the more you are willing to give it more chances and kind of learn more about it. Because if you're just watching something, you have no idea what's going on. You're like, okay, well, why did they just kick that from sideways? I don't understand. And then you understand, and it's more.
Yeah,
and
do
so,
you feel like you've learned a lot about the sport?
To the point where I'm like, I'm out like having full conversations now at this point. I'm like, oh no, that's this person, and he did this, and he hasn't, like, he scored this many goals, and da-da-da. And my friends are like, you didn't know anything 2 months ago.
Well, it's funny because like Tom in our group text was like, I don't understand offsides. And I was like, well, first of all, it's offside. It's not
No,
offsides.
it's not the S.
Offsides is football. Offside is soccer. And that was pounded into my head growing up because my dad was a ref, right? But I do think people like you that have invested the time now realize like we call it the beautiful game because it's constantly changing. You can't go into a game and be like, all right, well, that's their best player. We're just going to double team him and then we'll move on.
Lock him down and it's done.
Like obviously that's what, to your point, Holland and Messi and Mbappe and Harry Kane, those guys have some of the most goals in this tournament. You can't just double team them and make the other guys beat you.
Well, and I was about to say that coming into here, because we talked so much about Pulisic coming into, obviously, this World Cup in general. And so do you think some teams, like we're not talking about him as much because people were like, okay, let's focus on Pulisic because that's the guy. And then now Foles been kind of take over, and now they're like, oh no, now they have two of them and we didn't know.
I think Pulisic is still able to make a lot of things happen, even if he's not.
What is it called? Like dribbling or that part of his game is wild to watch, the way he weaves in and out of some of these players. That stuff is fascinating to me because I'm like, no way I can try and control a ball the way that he does.
It's so difficult, even for someone who played soccer for many years. But like some people are just naturally more gifted at that. And then also some people are really good at using both feet. Like the best strikers are the ones, or attacking midfielders are the ones that can score with either foot because of the angles that you're because the angles that end up being presented to you. And so I think Pulisic has created a lot. I'll liken it to basketball a little bit, right? So you've got your starting point guard and then you've got your shooting guard. Your point guard has to be able to create things and also shoot if they're going to be super talented. The shooting guard is able to not relax, but the shooting guard really just has to be just has to be in a good spot, get open and shoot. Well, it sounds easier than, or it is not as easy as it sounds, but you get my point. And so Pulisic, I think, has been more of the kind of like the point guard,
like creating
and Balogun
opportunities
has been
type of guy.
more of the shooting guard in this World Cup so far. But obviously, Pulisic had the calf injury too that he was dealing with, and so maybe they haven't allowed him to go fully
go out. Yeah,
100%. But now,
and that's not like I'm watching him and I'm
to.
like, he's not good. What is everyone talking about? That's not what I meant at all. I just meant, so I wonder how much game plans have had to shift for some of these teams, seeing how well that, you know, when it comes in. So I mean, I talk about him, but McKennie, that's his name too. McKennie. He's been playing really well. Tillman had the goal.
Kick, yep.
So like all of these guys kind of coming together, and it looks like the puzzle pieces fit really well, which is a nod to coaching, obviously, because what JJ was talking about last week, it's a lot of the same guys on this team as previous, and this coach has them playing on a much higher level, and they just look more cohesive than what I remember.
And I mean, sometimes you've got the skill set, but you don't have the ability for the players to understand what you want them to do. And I think with Greg Berhalter, I likened it to kind of like Mike White. Like Mike White had talent, but some of his guys were regressing offensively. And what Pochettino has been able to do is to take these skill sets that these guys already had, but be able to put it and mix it up a little bit to where you've got guys that are not typically in a starting role per se, or a star role, and like a Balogun, and now be like, all right, I'm going to create and have this team create opportunities for you because you know where to be. And that's what the best are. Like Erling Haaland, that's one of the things he's so incredibly good at. So good. Like it's one of the things Mbappe is so incredibly good at. RJ Saunders has the day off, but we have Jared Justice hanging out with us. I want to ask you, Jared, because you're not a soccer fan, but I want to get your sense of, as far as your friend group and things like that, have you noticed an uptick in people paying attention?
I have quite a bit. It's kind of crazy the amount of people that you see kind of at a random bar who are all just locked in on a random like Cape Verde game.
Yeah, that was Taylor.
And it's like,
you would have thought I was from there.
Find it on a map. Find it on a map for me.
Well, I think some people after probably the first match or two of Cape Verde, I think a lot of people started to kind of figure out more about the country.
And that's also the part that you guys were talking about that I was like super excited about, is that people are kind of like, you know what? There are other cultures.
Yeah, there's more than just us. That's why I was like, granted, I wouldn't have been able to show you where Cape Verde was, but I can barely point to like
Kansas.
Yeah. I can't tell you where Oklahoma really is on our map. I'm not
Aim for the middle.
Yeah, we call those the flyover states.
I'm very bad with geography, and I've said this like before, if I've been there, it like unlocks it in my brain. But if I haven't been there for some reason, my mind just kind of blurs everything together when it comes to geography. But yeah, Jared, I think it's really cool because you go out and you're watching, there's these people piled around one TV at various bars around town, and they're all cheering for something. Maybe it's the team, maybe it's a player, maybe it's the red card or yellow card that just happened. Maybe it's because they have no idea what offside is, and they're like, hold on, wait, every time something good happens, it's offside, it feels like. And so it's been kind of fun to start to see all of this kind of be created here with people that probably were all fans, and then it meshes. And I know, honestly, there's probably some diehard soccer fans that maybe are a little annoyed, like in the sense of we feel like, no, that is a red card or that's not. And they're like, you just started watching this game. But that's how it begins. That's how fandom begins. And like at some point you create some reason to cheer for something and you learn that and it grows from there. So this is the beginning, I think, for a good amount of people of watching more. I've seen multiple tweets and Facebook posts saying, I've got to find, like, give me your best leagues or teams or what clubs to follow and like, why should I follow them? And I'll pick a team this summer. And like, that's kind of where people are, I've seen people trending towards.
Well, I feel like in Jacksonville, I could be wrong, but I feel like Manchester City, Manchester United, I feel like those are maybe two of the more popular ones that people are fans of around here. From the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010. Belgians are split by language. Flemish is closer to Dutch and Walloon is closer to French. So there you have it.
Oh,
we're going to learn
a
so
lot.
much. Absolutely. I just
Welcome
know,
to National Geographic.
don't eat your waffles tonight.
Yeah, no waffles.
Unless we win. All right. It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. They've got the Extra Mile program. What do you get out of that? Free tire rotations with every visit after your tire purchase. $10 off every oil change every time. And it's automatic enrollment at all 6 Jacksonville area Big Chief Tire locations. You can find them online. WeKeepJacksRollin.com. More to do on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial pound law or check out forthepeople.com.
Hey guys, Taylor Dahl here of Helmets and Heels. Are you looking for a remix on the original Chick-fil-A sandwich? The Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich is back for a limited time only this summer. It's a flavorful spin on a familiar favorite created with a Chick-fil-A chicken, a drizzle of honey, pickled jalapenos, and a spread of savory pimento cheese. This sandwich combines your favorite flavors with a new twist, and it's available for just a limited time. So stop by and enjoy the Honey Pepper Pimento Chicken Sandwich at Chick-fil-A today.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
Frank Frangie here. 1010XL wants to know who you are. We are conducting a listener profile survey. What home improvement practices do you plan to do? What do you like best about us? All you have to do is go to 1010XL.com and fill out the survey. You could win tickets to the Jags home opener, Gator football, and Jumbo Shrimp tickets, or great 1010 swag. Just go to 1010XL.com and enjoy letting us know more about you so we can do a better job of serving you.
I've spent 20 plus years around scoreboards, and here's what they don't tell you. Every number up there is somebody's story. So when I heard a number last week, I had to sit with it. Hacker here, Paige from Awaken 180 told me their clients just lost 1 million pounds. 1 million. That stopped me cold because I know exactly what my 120 was worth. Moving better, feeling better, down from over 300. Now multiply that feeling. My 120 is stacked in there with somebody's first 10. Somebody's knee that finally quit barking. Somebody stepping on a scale this morning and pumping their fist in an empty bathroom thanks to Awaken 180. That's not a stat. That's a whole stadium's worth of hometown wins. The scoreboard's still running. A doable program, a plan built specifically for you, coaching that adjusts as you go, and free support for life. 1 million pounds down and counting. The next win should be yours. Awaken 180weightloss.com.
It's time to get your kid in the game with I-9 Sports. From North Jacksonville to Fleming Island, Neptune Beach to Orange Park. I-9 Sports makes it convenient for you just 1 day per week. Fall and winter registration open right now at I-9 Sports. Enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
If you are an experienced electrician looking for your next big opportunity, look no further than the Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller Electric, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering you the chance to showcase your skills on a grand scale. We believe in rewarding hard work with the best pay, top-notch benefits, and an unbeatable culture where people actually care about each other. Take your career to new heights with Miller Electric Company. Apply today at millercareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl is here. Jared Justice is here, filling in for RJ Saunders, who has the day off. Ty McManus is on vacation today. He'll be back with us tomorrow. I know that he's been down at the Gaylord Palms in Orlando.
And he's having a good old time.
Yes, he is. And I feel like World Cup fever was also in Orlando over the weekend as well. He said it seemed like there were people from all different countries there. So that's a fun melting pot.
I'm sure in Orlando for sure.
Oh, yeah. So today at 3 p.m., we have Portugal versus Spain. That is a massive game. And then the winner of that game will take on the winner of the United States-Belgium on Friday at 3 o'clock. So if we win tonight, the next game will be Friday during our show.
Oh, that's fun. And
oh boy, we might have another
stressful
USA
another live reaction. Hopefully a positive one again.
Hopefully a positive one is right.
So Belgium is who knocked us out in the last World Cup, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So
I
we
don't
definitely need to
think
win.
we've ever beat Belgium, or if we have, it was like one time in 1930, or something along those lines. So it's not.
All right, well, it's
I
time.
know recently they've won the last 6. But yeah, in case you missed it earlier, Belgium wanted Flo Balogun's red card to be upheld. And it was not. It was the red card was suspended. Yep. So in other words, if that's too many double negatives for you, basically that means Flo will play. Yeah, when you hear red card suspended, you're like, wait, what? But yeah, that is correct. And so he will not have to serve the suspension this evening. And the U.S.'s best scorer will play tonight at 8 o'clock against Belgium. And I can only imagine what that environment is going to be like. We've seen unbelievable crowds at every stop, including last night at Azteca. They were saying during the broadcast that the last time I want to say Mexico played a World Cup game at that stadium, there were like 114,000 people there. And then last night there were like 86,000. And I don't know the difference. I don't know if they expanded. We've seen in college football and in the NFL here, they've at times had to reduce capacity in order to create suites and things like that. So I don't know if that's the case,
like
but I can't even imagine 114,000. But I love that everyone's like, it's like college football in these stadiums. I'm like,
welcome to our Saturdays.
Exactly. This is why we're obsessed with college football, because of the pageantry. They're trying to kill the sport in every way, shape, or form they can, but they cannot take it from us. They absolutely cannot take it from us.
I will say, by the way, the Saturday that's Norway, England is also going to be wild.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
That game,
it's at 5 on Saturday.
Yes. That game is going to be, I would say, one of the best we've seen of the tournament, is what I would guess. But yeah, if you look at the bracket, it's exciting. We have July 9th. And so in 3 days, France, Morocco. And then we have Norway, England, like you said, 5 p.m. on Saturday. Whew.
And they have like games, like kind of, it's like the TBD. So it'll be a Friday at 3 is what you're saying we'd end up getting. And then they'd be another Saturday at 9. But yeah, Friday at 3, right in the middle of our show. Hopefully we're playing. I'll take it.
Right. No, I'll take it as well. I'll just be very stressed and not locked into the show. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, tomorrow we have Argentina, Egypt at noon. The game times I can't really follow along with. I don't understand why they're not all a set time each day this week. But either way, we've got noon. Like I said, Argentina, Egypt in Atlanta, and then Switzerland, Colombia at 4 p.m. in Vancouver. That's all tomorrow. So that's still obviously the round of 16. And then the quarterfinals, too, like we were just talking about, those begin on Thursday, France, Morocco, 4 p.m. in Foxborough, and then Saturday, Norway, England at 5 p.m. This is where I think we've gotten to. Assuming that the United States is still in it, people like you and like Jared and like Tom, people that don't really pay that close of attention to the World Cup or soccer in general most of the time, I think Saturday at 5 p.m., y'all will all be locked into your televisions for Norway, England.
Oh, I will for sure.
100%. And that, before the tournament started, if I had said Norway, England's going to be on a Saturday at 5 p.m., you'd be like, if I happened to be around a TV, like we were at a friend's house on Friday and they had the World Cup on. It was for a kid's birthday party and the World Cup is on and people are paying attention and people are talking about it. And I'm like, I'm just so proud.
Yeah, I know.
I'm
You're
so
like,
proud.
look at this. I know. I might be doing my row.
The row for Norway. Are you cheering for Norway?
I think so. Because I like,
I like
especially
Norway
over
too.
England. But I think that I just like their style of play a lot too. I've realized during this. Obviously, Holland's so much fun to watch too.
And
I
Holland
said I
got to lead the drums for the row yesterday.
And I think it's been fun to kind of see. Like when all the Norwegian fans went and watched Victor and Victor ended up winning in the playoff and like that's been kind of fun to watch and they seem like a really fun fan base too, so that adds to it, very likable. So it adds little things. You find reasons to cheer and those are my random reasons to cheer, but I just feel like it'll be one of those where I'll be like very invested in Norway on Saturday all of a sudden.
Yeah, I would imagine that most Americans are probably cheering for Norway, just with the whole we just turned 250 years old, which Brian and I were talking about this, and I didn't even like the idea of it, but he was like, we've been around, like, our ages, we've been around for like a significant chunk of the America's history, the 250. I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, think about someone who's 100 years old.
Yeah.
Like, that's an impressive thing.
Yeah, I know. And I've seen a lot of like Europeans post on it where it's like, my pub is 265 years old.
Yeah,
and we're like,
infants.
okay.
We're in infancy in comparison. I get that. But
we're young and thriving. You guys are old and crusty.
You guys have saggy wrinkles, and we do not. All right, we'll get to Taylor's Tangent and some football at some point in the show. I promise. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chiefs Tire Monday, 10 to XL, 92.5 FM.
Sweet summer on the First Coast.
And the radio.
1010XL, Jacksonville's summer station.
Frank Frangie here. Employee pricing for everyone is back at Nimnik Buick GMC this month only. Take advantage of employee pricing on 2026 GMC Sierra light-duty trucks. With the largest selection of trucks in the area, why shop anywhere else? Shop online at nimnikbuickgmc.com or visit the showroom off Phillips Highway. Largest selection, better prices, best interest rate, all at nimnikbuickgmc.com. Nobody but Nimnik. GMC, we are professional grade.
Helmets and heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
It's summertime, and Aleve is here to keep you on the go. Whether it's planes, trains, or automobiles, Aleve's got your back with up to 12 hours of back pain relief. With just one dose, you'll get to your destination and be ready for your next adventure. So pack your sunscreen, your shades, and your Aleve. No matter where your final stop, Aleve will keep you moving. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back this summer. Feel Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Hi, I'm Blake Bortles. People know I've always said if I wasn't playing football, I'd probably be on a construction site. So Next Gen Roofing finally let me live the dream.
Blake, why are you wearing a red practice jersey?
Always worn it for safety.
Right. Well, around here, the red jersey means you're the new guy. So you're in charge of garbage cleanup.
Perfect. I love garbage time. Always excelled in it.
It's not exactly what I meant.
Good thing Next Gen Roofing has real pros handling everything from family homes to large commercial buildings. Next Gen, teamed up with you.
Teamed up with you.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Jeff Prosser here. The FIFA World Cup is entering its biggest matches, and there's no better place to be than Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform. On Kalshi, you can trade every matchup from the opening stage all the way through to the final. Looking for good value? Try England to win it all. They're trading around 9.4% to win, meaning a $100 trade pays out around $1,000 if they go on to win soccer's biggest prize. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code 1010XL, and you'll get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade the beautiful game. 18 and over only. Restrictions apply. Eligibility and requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
In Jacksonville, we love our sports. You might say we flip out over them. Football, baseball, soccer, hockey, basketball, golf, and there's our outdoor game, fishing, surfing, and just chilling. There's so much to do, it will make your head spin. But keep your cap on because Visit Jacksonville has you covered. Check out visitjacksonville.com/locals or download the Visit Jax app and stay on the ball for all the upcoming sports events in Jax. Go local, go sports. Jacksonville, the flip side of Florida.
Tailgaters Parking is approaching sellout for this upcoming season. Permanent restrooms, all-day security, and on-site restaurant pavilion. Due to stadium construction, your previous parking may be gone. Log on to tailgatersparking.com today.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
The beating of your heart, baby.
Tom McManus has today off. He'll be back with us tomorrow. And once again, hopefully we are talking about the U.S. men's national team victory against Belgium tonight. Taylor Dahl, how was your fourth?
It was fun. Yeah, we had just a more relaxing day, but out on the water, they cooked out. A lot of food, actually. There was so much food in the house. And
Love it.
Everybody, it was one of the situations where they made hot dogs and hamburgers, and then we're like, hey, everybody bring stuff. So people brought all sorts of different dishes, like the meatballs, like crock pot meatballs. And we had chicken wings and pizzas and lumpia and like everything you could possibly think of.
Love it.
And it was delicious. A lot of good food, few drinks. Weather was perfect. And they live like off San Pablo on one of those little canals back there. And I swear there's like a bubble around them because anytime it's supposed to like get a little cloudy or even sprinkle or rain, it like misses their house completely. And it's happened every single year. They've been there now 3 years in a row, I believe it is. And so it just not a single cloud in the sky all day, which was nice to just like float and relax, and played some beer pong and flip cup and had some fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love how that's relaxing.
Yeah, for some.
But yeah, played beer cup. Beer flip cup. Yeah, ours was good. So Thursday met up with some friends and did beach happy hour, which is always amazing.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, watching the sun go down on the beach, and then went to a pool party, birthday party on Friday, and then Saturday went for a bike ride that morning on First Street before it turned too crazy. It just gets so it gets
wild.
so wild at the beaches. But got on a good bike ride, and then went over to our friend's house that has a pool, and like you said, floated around, and and then went home early, gave Keaton his medicine.
Yeah, so he doesn't freak out.
Yep, and then had listened to all the fireworks for the next many, many hours, but it was perfectly fine. All right, time now for Taylor's Tangent.
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
So eventually we will talk some football maybe today at some point, but I wanted to mention, I talked about this about a month ago, a little over a month ago, of the lady Kelsey Fendler, who was rowing from California to Hawaii. Well, she officially made it on Friday.
Wow.
Yeah. And so she did break all 3 records and becoming the first woman to solo row from California to Hawaii. But she also had the fastest, so there was, I guess, other women that went, but they weren't solo. And so she beat their time, plus made it solo, plus beat the solo men's time also. So if you did not know, it was a crazy 20-foot rowboat that she was on by herself, and started 44 days it took her to get all the way across, and it was over a 2,400-mile journey by herself.
How does she eat?
So she documents all this. It's actually really interesting if you go, and it's on YouTube and all the social platforms. But if you go, so she has different types of food that I guess just you can eat out, like doesn't spoil and stuff like that. And so she has different things that she'll eat throughout. She does have different ways to like get water out of there, but like purify the water on the rowboat, and she'll show you like different ways she does all of this. So it's kind of crazy, like washing clothes, like she's out there washing her clothes at certain points, and she documents everything. It's really, really crazy how she did it, and it's a little bit, you could tell, emotional at moments, because I'm sure it was terrifying at certain moments. She was saying there was one of the videos I saw where waves were supposed to be getting up to like 60, 70 feet or something like that. And she was like, I'm a little worried about tonight. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight because the waves are supposed to hit X amount big, and the certain things, I don't know, they use terminology I'm not as familiar with, but some of the days were like that, and then the other day she's like, oh, look how beautiful it is out here, and she'll like show you the view, and there's like sea lions swimming around, and she's just like sitting there eating her lunch, like laying in the rowboat just relaxing. And other days it looks a little crazier, but yeah, so she finally made it. And so it was the Guinness World Record that she broke. I'm trying to find this. So the Rowing Society online record shows Saturday morning that Fendler finished in just under 44 days, faster than the previous comparable female record holder, which was 86 days, or the male record, which was 52 days, as recorded by both the Rowing Society and the Guinness Book of World Records. And Fendler's video diaries explain the logistics of her passage and survival on the ocean. She detailed challenges including blistered hands, which I could imagine after having to row that much, the struggle to sleep at certain stuff. You could tell when she got off because people were all waiting for her. So they were all there when she finally approached. And so they're all cheering for her. And it was like a big celebration when she finally found land at Hawaii. And she definitely looked like she was going to have to stretch for a while. Like you could tell, very stiff from, I'm sure, sitting on that boat. And she would get out and swim, and she would stand and stuff like that. But still, I'm sure, like, how much movement are you getting during that period of time? And just from the sun, she was talking about how fierce the sun was in certain areas, that she was trying to find ways to protect herself from that. So she'd build like little canopies on her boats during certain times of the days. But yeah, wild story. And
44 days.
44 days. Yeah, it's wild. And so I guess she is a professional raft guide since she was 18, and she spent the last 8 years leading trips along the Colorado River and the Grand Canyon. And from there was just like, I really like to row, and I saw the record and was like, hey, this is something that I could probably do. But it was kind of cool because her whole message to it was like, hey, this was really scary, and it was, it kind of pushes you to show how far you can go as a human being and how much you can do. Like, things are big and hard and scary, and you don't feel like you can do it, but you can do it, and like go push yourself to be better every day. And like, that's kind of her mentality for it. So it was really cool. But if you haven't seen any of the videos, go back, because she goes into detail about how she eats, how she, does the water, how she washes clothes, how she would do certain things throughout the trip that you're just like, how is this even possible to be out there for 44 days? But she made it. So congrats to her. Lands on Friday, the day before, obviously, 4th of July, and gets to celebrate in Hawaii after that. So
I can't imagine not watching sports for 44 days. I mean, it's super cool.
I'm like out on the ocean trying to watch Belgium. I'm like, hold on.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of sports we've watched in the last 44 days, whether it's
baseball,
soccer, exactly, the baseball. We'll get to baseball actually in Lauren's lane. But yeah, that's awesome. I'm proud of her. I wonder what her goal was. I mean, obviously, when she set out, the female solo record was 86 days. So I wonder where her target was to be able to achieve it. But she smoked that record.
Yeah, the 44 days. She halved that one. And then, the men's was 52 and had 44 days. And so she did say at one point, one of the videos.
What does she do next, by the way?
What's your after you do that? What do you do?
You're clearly a thrill seeker.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what. So they talk about like nautical miles and stuff. And so at one point she was talking about she was like, I'm 500 nautical miles ahead of the men's record. So she knew like pretty far in advance that she was like beating this. So I feel like maybe you can start to relax a little bit, or does that make you more competitive? Like, oh, I'm like this far ahead already, and I could just absolutely crush both of these records. So I wonder where your mindset is in that moment when I'm sure you're exhausted and you're ready to like hit land and have some normal food and talk to people.
Yeah.
That's why I talk too much. I'd be talking to myself so much out there.
Well, she recorded videos, so she was talking to herself / people. What's the first thing you'd eat if you had been on a rowboat for 44 days?
Oh, yeah, probably a good ribeye.
Okay.
I'd immediately be like, I need a steak and potato and a salad. Probably it'd be the first thing that I'd want.
And then a hot dog for dessert.
Probably.
Yeah, we had some really good cheeseburgers. We had some really good chicken and ribs over the weekend too. So it's hard. Like, there's so many options.
I know.
Low Country Boil, I feel like would be at the top of my list.
Too. I might have to do like steak and crab legs. That would be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
It's very tailor meal.
Absolutely. All right, Lauren's Lane awaits on the other side.
Speaking of meals, though.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Let's do free lunch before we get to Lauren's Lane. We have free lunch to 2 Chick-fil-A. Give us a call at 641-1010. Let's say caller number 1 today, so you got to be fast. You get free lunch to Chick-fil-A, but make sure you pick up that peach milkshake too. It's just here for the summertime. Perfect combination to go with that chicken sandwich or chicken nugget. So give us a call now and you get free lunch.
How did I forget about Chick-fil-A when we're talking about food? All right, now Lauren's Lane awaits on the other side. 1010XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL.
We move forward starting right now. We start becoming a team right now.
Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Truck accidents can happen and can be devastating. Founded in Jacksonville, Edwards and Raggets is proud to serve the 904. If you've been seriously injured in a truck accident, protect yourself and your family by understanding your rights and legal options. Our attorneys are experienced in handling complex truck cases and can guide you through this. No fees unless you recover damages. Call 904-INJURED or visit 904injured.com.
Edwards and Raggets, offices Jacksonville.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Celebrate America's 250th anniversary with Renewal by Andersen and get $250 off every window and door. Plus, 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. With Renewal by Andersen, you're getting American craftsmanship, expert installation, and signature service. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. That's bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free design consultation. Restrictions apply. License number CGC 1527613.
He's the former Jacksonville beat reporter, and he still knows your team well.
Oh, you don't say.
He's Pete Prisco, Thursday afternoons on The Frangie Show.
This I gotta see.
Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles on 1010XL.
Soccer fans, Michelob Ultra is going to pay somebody $90,000 to go to the FIFA World Cup 2026 final and bring the Superior Player of the Match trophy. Yes, I'm being serious right now. Got some weight to it. This is the real thing, people. Michelob Ultra, $90,000. FIFA World Cup 2026 final. You watch the match, you get the honor of carrying the Superior Player of the Match trophy. That's a soccer fan's dream come true.
Enjoy the beautiful game with a cold Michelob Ultra, the official beer of World Cup 2026.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
One of Beard's Diamond's most popular events ever is back. It's Christmas in July. Right now, for a limited time, you get as much as 40% off anything in our showcases. Yes, that includes engagement rings, fashion rings, earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, colored gemstones. This is the annual store-wide sale that everyone loves, because you get December prices in July. Up to 40% off store-wide. Don't miss Christmas in July. Exclusively at Beard's Diamond at the St. John's Town Center and online at beardsdiamonds.com. Shop local. Shop Beards.
Who are the CEOs making a real impact in Northeast Florida? I'm Liz Greeby, the events director for the Jacksonville Business Journal, and we are now accepting nominations for this year's Ultimate CEO Awards, where we recognize the top executives who are leading their companies and helping shape our region's future. If you know an outstanding CEO in Baker, Clay, Duval, Flagler, Nassau, Putnam, or St. Johns County, nominate them today. Nominations close July 20th. Visit jbjevents.com for details and help us recognize the leaders moving Northeast Florida forward.
Hey, gang, Prosser here again for my friends Chad and Sandy at Chad and Sandy Realty. To maximize price on your home, you need more than a sign in the yard. You need a proven expert with an aggressive marketing plan. That's why more homeowners are turning to Chad and Sandy Realty. Chad and Sandy's Market Max system is a proven plan. It's going to get your home sold fast for maximum price. You need to sell now? Chad and Sandy have instant offers. Fast, easy, stress-free. But this is bottom line. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required repairs, pick your move date, no long-term contracts. Just listen to Eric and Jason, brothers in Villa San Jose. After losing our parents, my brother and I were left with a family home to sell. After 196 days on the market with another agent, it just sat there. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, gave them a call, got full asking price less than 27 days. So call the local agents who guarantee to sell your homes. Call Chad and Sandy today at 414-6200 or chadandsandy.com.
I'm Chris Wayne with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update, brought to you by Baker Glass. Team USA faces Belgium tonight in the World Cup at 8 p.m., but you can get started early with Hayes and Hacker as they host a World Cup pre-match party at Twin Peaks from 4 to 6 p.m. If USA wins their match tonight, it's on to the quarterfinals against either Portugal or Spain. It's 92 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Aaron Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready.
Taylor Doll is here. Jared Justice is here, filling in for RJ Saunders, who has today off. Tom McManus is off also today. He'll be back with us tomorrow. I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Big Chief Tire Monday. They've got 6 locations around town. They are a family-owned company, and nobody does it better. If you need tires, if you need oil changes, brakes, alignments, whatever you need for your vehicle, visit our friends at Big Chief Tire. Time now for Lawrence Lane.
Now, Lawrence Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
Yesterday was one John Sumrall's birthday, so I want to wish a happy 44th birthday to Mr. Sumrall. And then I want to get into, Taylor, a little baseball, and then I promise we'll get to football in just a little bit. But there's a sporting event that's flying under the radar that is happening this weekend. No, I'm not talking about Wimbledon that's on right now. I'm talking about the Major League Baseball draft. People talk about the NFL draft for months. People even talk about the NBA draft for at least a few weeks. No one's talking about the Major League Baseball draft whatsoever. And so I did want to mention that it does take place this Saturday in Philadelphia as, of course, a part of all the All-Star festivities that are hosted by the Phillies. The top 6 overall picks, this is interesting to me, are awarded via a lottery involving the 18 teams that failed to make the postseason. So the teams with the worst records have the highest odds, and then ping pong balls, just like the NBA, are drawn to determine these selections. After the top 6 picks are assigned, the remaining non-playoff teams pick in reverse order of their regular season winning percentage. So in other words, if you made the playoffs last year, you're probably not going to be picking near the top. And if you didn't make the postseason, you at least have a chance of having one of those 6 top picks. The reason I find all this interesting is because your Tampa Bay Rays pick second overall in this year's Major League Baseball draft. So it starts with the White Sox, then you've got the Rays, then the Twins third, the Giants fourth, and the Pittsburgh Pirates fifth. So it's just crazy to think that one of the best teams in baseball is picking
gets to pick
second.
towards the top.
But again, it's because of what happened last year. So the top 5 names, I'm not exactly sure how they're going to go, but the top 5 names, your catcher for Georgia Tech, Von Lackey, your short, and then 3 out of the other 4 are shortstops. Grady Emerson, he's a high schooler from Texas. Rock Chalowski from UCLA, and Jacob Lombard from Gulliver Prep High School in Miami. Those are the 3 shortstops. And then you've got one right-handed pitcher who went to UC Santa Barbara, and his name is Jackson Flora. So of all the consensus of the Major League Baseball,
those seem like
mock
the top
drafts,
5 guys.
Yeah, those
Rock
are most
sounds
likely.
like a very will play baseball type of name.
Yeah, I
Is it
remember watching him, ROCH. We watched him during the college baseball postseason. But yeah, so interesting that the Rays are picking second.
That is crazy. I will also say I am glad Major League Baseball changed it, because I want to say less than 5 years ago, I want to say 2022, they changed it, but it would happen during the College World Series. And there were multiple guys that would be like playing a game in the College World Series, and then they'd be like, hey, you got drafted, and like, cool, like you're playing in the College World Series, but you want to be able to separate those two moments. Like, here's my college career, let me see what I can do in this game, rather than worried about if I'm about to get drafted and who's going to draft me. So I do like that they changed that, because it used to overlap with like the end of the College World Series, and it'd be weird. I'd always see videos of like a kid on his phone in the dugout, and then they'd be like, oh, he just found out he got drafted by so-and-so. And it should be separate. You shouldn't have to like live in a world where both are overlapping at one time, especially if you're going deep into those College World Series.
The transfer portal being open when the college football season is still,
that needs to change
still going on. So the Home Run Derby is a week from tonight. The All-Star Game is a week from tomorrow night. The AL and NL Players of the Month, I feel like...
Yeah, look at us.
Yeah, you and I basically serve those up on a silver platter. The Rays third baseman Junior Caminero, who's batting .327 with 10 home runs. That was in the month of June. And then Cubs outfielder Pete Armstrong was batting .381, and he had 11 home runs in the month of June. So yeah, PCA and Junior Caminero, 2 names certainly people need to know. Shout out to Brian Baker. I've mentioned him on the show before. Went to UNF, has played in the bigs for 11 seasons, and this year became an all-star for the very first time.
That's so exciting.
As a closer. He's got a 1.83 ERA and 23 saves. So yeah, shout out to the hometown kid. And then the Dodgers, Braves, and Phillies each have 5 all-stars apiece. And then the Yankees, Blue Jays, and Rays each have 4. The Rays would be 2 pitchers in Baker, and then also Drew Rasmussen, and then Yandy Diaz, and of course the aforementioned Junior Caminero. And then interesting also note for the Rays, 6:40 p.m. tonight is the first of 3 games against the Yankees. The Rays are 52-35. The Yankees are 49-40. And so they're just separated by 4 games. But the Yankees are 1-9 in their last 10. But those 3 games take place at the Trop over the next 3 days.
It reminded me a little bit when you were talking earlier about when we were talking about USA Soccer and the coaching and like the players just having to fit and you having to understand kind of the coach's mindset of how they want you to play and all of that. It reminds me of the Yankees in a certain way. It's like sometimes you look at certain teams and you're like, there's so much talent on that team. The Mets honestly are like that right now too, and the Mets are just atrocious. But it's kind of like, how do you have all of that, and payroll aside, all of that talent on one team and not able to, like for the Yankees, for example, they've been to the World Series, but you're not able to kind of get over that final hump of winning it all. And you have a very expensive roster, but aside from that, a lot of good players. Yeah, and that's so there are times where it made me think of that when you were talking about how everything kind of is working right now for USA Soccer, because it's like sometimes just because you put a bunch of paid players, stars together, doesn't mean it's always going to work for you to win a championship.
Yeah, people have to know their roles, right?
Yeah.
And that whole cliche of like, just do your job, right? And if everyone does their job, we talk about that in football all the time. If everyone does their job, then you're going to be successful, whether it's on offense or defense or special teams. But I feel like for the Rays, they have the best manager. Like, Kevin Cash might be the best manager in all of baseball because they are working with much lower payroll. Not the lowest, but much lower payroll. They, people make fun of the Rays because they'll trade away stars like a Randy Arozarena, like a Blake Snell back in the day. And, I mean, at some point in time, it'll catch up with them, but they're somehow able to make it work. But obviously last year, the Rays weren't that successful, and that's why they're picking second now, because they got second with the lottery.
Well, it works, though. It's kind of like, what happened with the Florida Panthers this year, and in that sense of you have that one down year, and some of that's injury, some of that's just like things don't go right for you, and then you get a high draft pick, and then now you also get to just probably be in an instant contender. You get both Kachuk brothers, and that helps you too. But it is that it's weird. Like every team, and I remember going through that breakdown, Lauren, of how each team in the NFL, and I went through the contenders and how they were built, if it was through the draft or free agency, and every team does it different. But that doesn't decipher. It showed how important the coaching is, because some of these teams did the exact same thing. Like, okay, 70% of your roster was drafted, and those drafted players are pretty good, and then you've brought in a few free agents, and they're working well, but that the whether it's the players not working together, we're kind of working out in that sense, or is it the coaching, and we see coaching changes and stuff like that. So it's interesting how different, and this is from sport to sport, how different it is. It also is interesting, I was thinking of this as you were talking about baseball. Last year, do you remember when we were talking about the All-Star game and all the votes were coming in, and the one pitcher got put in after only 4 starts, and everybody was freaking out, and they were like, how did he deserve that? You remember that was Mizorowski?
Yeah, Jacob Mizorowski.
I was like, he's pretty good, and everybody was freaking out last year because they let him in, and I remember even being like, that's dumb. You've only got to see him in like 4 full starts, I think it was at that point in time, and now this year I'm like, okay, he's good. He deserves to be an All-Star.
Sometimes a small sample size isn't the worst thing, right? Like, I always think about Tony Baselli getting into the Hall of Fame. What took him longer to get enshrined was the fact longevity, his career was cut short because of injury. And to me, if you're the best at your position when you play, whether you play 3 years, 18 years, like to me, that shouldn't be a determining factor as far as the Hall of Fame. And then I do have a Wimbledon note for you. I'm not the biggest tennis fan.
I have no idea what's going on.
But tomorrow morning at 8:30, we have an All-American quarterfinal when it comes to women's singles. Jessica Pegula versus Coco Gauff.
Oh, okay.
And Jessica Pegula is the daughter of the owner of the Bills.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
The Pegula family has
I know Coco Gauff.
Billions and billions, but she was able to go out and become a really, really good tennis player. And so, I feel like that's...
So do the Bills get a championship?
I don't know that she can win it all. We'll see. But I do just find it interesting. And again, I'm not the biggest tennis fan, but we'll see if this type of stuff can bring more Americans into watching tennis again, right? Like when you have the stars, or even if there's rivalries, right? Like that's something that people start to pay a little bit more attention to.
Yeah.
And again, I'll probably turn it on tomorrow morning at 8:30. I won't be locked in by any means, but I do think it feels like it's been a minute since we've had 2 American women or even 2 American men make it to the quarterfinals of Wimbledon.
That obviously adds some interest. And to your point, I do think sometimes having villains or some sort of competition. We talked about that in golf with the whole Wyndham Clark thing. I was like, I think it's fun because it gets people interested when they have something to root against or for, or a personality that kind of stands out. All of that helps at certain sports when you have those stars. We talked about it forever in baseball about like, okay, Mike Trout's the best player in baseball, but he's so boring. Like, we need somebody.
Plays on the West Coast, and his team doesn't make the postseason.
The games are late, and they weren't good, and he just doesn't have like the biggest personality. And then now all of a sudden, we are kind of seeing a shift in this. We are seeing some of these, like an Ohtani who's just he's just Ohtani, and he's sweet, and he's fun, and he's goofy, and he's one of those respectful Japanese players. And I think it's really cool to see those, which I like when it comes to how much respect. Yeah, and then Pete Crow Armstrong, who makes some people really mad, and other people absolutely think he's phenomenal. And so you need personalities like that sometimes to really grow and get people back interested into some of the sports.
Yeah. By the way, I said a 3-game series for the Yankees and the Rays. It's a 4-gamer, so it'll conclude on Thursday. But I did see that on Wednesday, the pitching matchup is Shane McClanahan for the Rays versus Garrett Cole for the Yankees.
Ooh, that'll be a good one.
That should be probably I would imagine a pitcher's duel, but you never know these days. All right, more to do on the other side on this Big Chief Tire Monday. Don't go anywhere. Helmets and Heels 1010 XL 92.5 FM.
1010XL takes you behind the microphone.
You mad? Yeah, I'm mad. Good and mad. Yeah.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
What do you want to do about it? Feels good, doesn't it?
The Drill.
Yeah.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Now it's time I got some respect.
This World Cup soccer update is laced up by Valvoline Instant Oil Changes and Houston's Meats.
Westwood One Sports presents this World Soccer Update, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance makes bundling home and auto easy. Learn more at progressive.com. At the World Cup, tournament organizers have ruled Belgium's request for an explanation inadmissible, meaning Belgium has no grounds to appeal the decision to suspend the red card of Flo Balogun, and Balogun will play for the United States in tonight's round of 16 match. This is welcome news to U.S. star Christian Pulisic.
Just having him as a presence out there, he does so much. He runs off the ball. He always gives an option. He's constantly a threat and behind and to score. And obviously, as a team, it's really helpful.
USA versus Belgium kicks off 8 p.m. Eastern tonight in Seattle. Starting now in Arlington, Texas, round of 16, it's Portugal versus Spain. I'm Phil Constantino, Westwood One Sports.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Bakery owners, you will be loved today. Every pastry will be flaky. Your cake will make a child's day. Your delivery van won't get sideswiped by a distracted garbage truck driver. But if so, breathe easy, knowing you'll get back to business quickly with Progressive protecting your commercial auto. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When you first saw her, she was out walking her dog. You didn't notice her at first. But when you finally did, it was too late. Because at that moment, you were speeding. She was out walking her dog and only had a second to let go of the leash. Your foot was on the gas, and her life was on the line. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom, who got rear-ended last year. Tom McManus here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial pound law or check out forthepeople.com.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. Went smooth as silk, was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Our son Eric's a Division I collegiate baseball pitcher who is having shoulder pain. We took him to Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and are confident that he's now on the road to recovery. This is Beth Anderson, and we love the care Eric receives at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
When you want to know what's happening in Gainesville, roll with the Gator Report. I'm Joe C. Listen for updates on Florida Gator athletics several times a week on 1010XL. Built by Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
Go, Gator!
Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company is hiring for an estimator. Are you a motivated, customer-focused professional who enjoys working with people and doing things the right way? We want to hear from you. Send your resume to JCW Roof at jcwroof.com or call 904-396-1546. Family owned and operated since 1946. Jack C. Wilson Roofing Company, the first name in Jacksonville roofing.
PGA Tour star Ricky Fowler.
If you want to be the best, you have to practice with the best. That's why I had Southwest Greens install and maintain my putting green, and my synthetic lawn, and my chipping area, and my practice bunker area, and my bocce ball court, and our pole vaulting area.
Southwest Greens is the world's premier manufacturer and installer of putting greens, synthetic grass, chipping areas, practice bunkers, and just about anything else you want to do in your yard.
It's Southwest Greens.
Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Calling all artists. The Jaguars Game Day Poster Series is back, and we're looking for bold, original artists to bring the energy to game days at the bank. Submit your portfolio for a chance to showcase your talent and design a limited edition Jaguars game day poster. Don't miss out. Be part of Duval Designs by visiting jaguars.com/Duval Designs.
I've spent 20 plus years around scoreboards, and here's what they don't tell you. Every number up there is somebody's story. So when I heard a number last week, I had to sit with it. Hacker here, Paige from Awaken 180 told me their clients just lost 1 million pounds. 1 million. That stopped me cold because I know exactly what my 120 was worth. Moving better, feeling better, down from over 300. Now multiply that feeling. My 120 is stacked in there with somebody's first 10. Somebody's knee that finally quit barking. Somebody stepping on a scale this morning and pumping their fist in an empty bathroom thanks to Awaken 180. That's not a stat. That's a whole stadium's worth of hometown wins. The scoreboard's still running. A doable program, a plan built specifically for you, coaching that adjusts as you go, and free support for life. 1 million pounds down and counting. The next win should be yours. Awaken 180weightloss.com.
I'm with Sullivan from Cycles of Jacksonville and Sullivan. You love the beach and you love to ride, so tell everybody what Honda's got cooking right now.
Yes, definitely. Here at Cycles of Jacksonville, we have a full line: Hondas, Vespas, Triumphs, everything you can think of just to ride to the beach. It's going to be the best summer ever when you hop on that ride this year.
And so if you head to the showroom first, you're going to see all sorts of examples of what they can enjoy.
Exactly. Come see us at the showroom, Atlantic Boulevard. We're ready to see you there.
You can log on, check out their Facebook page or cyclesofjacksonville.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Let the record reflect that two girls are doing a sports talk show on a Monday afternoon, the weekend after Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce got married. We haven't mentioned it once. And the only reason I'm honestly even bringing it up is because if you're looking at the NFL Top 100 that came out today, number 80 would be Patriots wide receiver A.J. Brown, and number 79 would be Travis Kelce. But what I want to talk about is how Jeffrey Simmons is 83rd in the NFL Top 100, again, voted on by the players. And Jalen Ramsey clocked in at 82nd. I guess he had a decent year for the Steelers. Jalen Ramsey, if you look at Pete Prisco's Top 100, did not make the cut because, of course, and Jeffrey Simmons is 20th. Yeah. So I'm going to ignore the NFL Top 100 from now on and only look at Prisco's list and other people that are reputable because this is ridiculous. Yeah. Jalen Ramsey, once upon a time, was absolutely a top 25 player in this league. He's not now.
He's started playing even safety this year, which is fine. You can be whatever, but I feel like and he still makes plays at times, and it's Jalen Ramsey, and certain players are always going to kind of like have their guys' backs, and that's what this has turned into in a sense when you see some of this voting, because obviously it's player voting, so they try and be like, well, it's the players themselves voting on it. I'm like, it's because they're friends and they're buddies, or some of them got embarrassed by this specific corner or wide receiver, and they feel like they need to put him on there, so people are like, oh, well, he's a top 100 whatever, so that's why he got burned by him. But it is a little ridiculous. Jeffrey Simmons is one of the best players. There's no way you can tell me that, and I'm interested to see the defensive tackles that they have ahead of him when it comes to this list, and I want to look at it at the end and see. We talked about this with Foye Oluokun where they put Azeez Al-Shaair and where Foye should be. So we'll see if he makes this list. If he doesn't make this list, then it's total crap. But I just think that it's come to this thing where it is more so buddies kind of voting for buddies at certain points, and if it's
name over game.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because I do think that there would be a way you almost, I feel like, need to with a list like this. And I think Pete does a good job, but I also don't always totally agree with his stuff either. And I've said it before, he always has like a bunch of Packers. He loves the Packers. He'll usually put a little bit more Jags in there than some of the other lists because he follows so closely here, and which is sometimes right. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't know. There's some guys better than that. But everybody is going to have their bias in certain ways. But I almost feel like if you're doing a list like this, you almost need to separate like offense and defense, because that's the problem is they're undervalue a lot of offensive linemen a bunch of times because they're like, all right, well, how are we going to put a guard in over a guy that had double-digit sacks? And so I think it's hard to totally put value on when it goes to position at certain times. And so it is interesting. If you have not seen the whole thing, I'll just count down from 100 to where we are right now. So Cam Jordan, Quentin Nelson, Bryce Young, Ernest Jones, ETN, Demario Davis, Creed Humphrey, Carson Schlesinger, I hate saying his name, Aziz Al-Shaair, Montez Sweat, Derek Brown, Kyron Williams, Jack Campbell, Tet McMillan, I always forget how to say this guy's names, the guy for the Chargers, Brock Purdy, Byron Young, Jeffrey Simmons, Jalen Ramsey, and Bobby Wagner. And so it's wild to me that
Jared's in there cracking up.
Do you know how to say it? I always forget. I literally every time I see it, I'm like, I should know how to say his name by now, but I don't.
My last station, we used to play a game that was literally they just hand me Russian hockey players' names so that I'd butcher them on the air.
Tuipulotu.
Yeah. That one.
Tuipulotu. There we go.
Tuipulotu. But yeah, so some of them I'm like, yeah, that deserves to be there. And then there's other times where I'm like, you're telling me that Bryce Young is only like 15 spots higher than Jeffrey Simmons as the best players in the NFL right now? No. Sorry.
Yeah, and you're right. I shouldn't ever say one list for the top 100 players in the NFL is ever gospel, because it's an incredibly difficult feat to do.
It's hard, yeah.
I mean, who are you going to have, let's say, number one? Matthew Stafford, who won the MVP, or Myles Garrett, who broke the sack record? Like, you could argue that you need the quarterback more than you need the pass rusher, but both,
and both had insane years, so it's not even like you could say.
Don't remind
me. That's
me.
A good time.
Yeah. By the way, Spain and Portugal are underway about 21 minutes into this contest, this match, and it is scoreless as of now. So we'll certainly keep you updated if Ronaldo gets any goals, or if obviously Spain gets any goals as well. I'm sure JJ LaSelva is watching this one on the big screen TV there in the conference room. And I appreciate, by the way, he and you too, Taylor, who both texted yesterday as soon as that Fuller and Balogun news broke. I hadn't quite seen it yet on Twitter. My notification was about to pop up, but I got y'all's text and I was like jumping up and down.
I was too. And it was funny because the wording is a little difficult. So I had to read it like 4 times to be
like,
suspended.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hold on, the red card suspended. So I read the note. And the funny part is usually I'll see something like that on Twitter first. But this one, my CBS Sports app got it to me very quickly. And so that notification popped out. So I immediately go to Twitter to be like, is this real? And what exactly does it mean? And then I sent it to you guys right away. But yeah, definitely a lot of people were cheering on that. And then the funny memes were coming out with him with like the Uno reverse card. I posted that one and it was hilarious. I love stuff like that.
Did you see the FIFA one where it said that Brendan Sorsby is eligible to play tonight? I was like,
I knew some college football ones would come out with this.
This poor kid is like, wait, my name was
He was like, can I have a break? I said sorry.
Right, finally. And now you'll bring me back into this. Although that one, like I said, was just being silly. But yeah, I feel like it is difficult to come up with the top 100. I mean, it's hard for us to come up with like the top 10
when we're
the
listing
AFC
in the
South.
division.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think it's difficult. But at the end of the day, I do feel like Jalen Ramsey doesn't belong in the top 100, and Jeffrey Simmons definitely deserves to be higher than 80-something.
Yeah, and that's what we've seen every year, the big certain names that will make the list where people are like, how in the world did that person even make the list?
Right.
And then you have other ones where it goes to, like I said, the position value of how high you rank certain people. But Jeffrey Simmons is literally one of the best players in the NFL right now. And the problem is he plays for a really bad team. The Titans, which good for us, have been irrelevant for a while now. And they won 3 football games last year. So that doesn't have a lot of people talking about them. There's some people that will probably sneak on this list a little higher that aren't on very good football teams because it's hard to hide that. Like a Myles Garrett and with the Browns was still making this list and was very high because it's hard to kind of hide some of those things and people and players voting on them. But yeah, sometimes it's hard to just value, and I'd almost rather them just separate and be like, do a top 50 offensive and a top 50 defensive and see how much more like accurate it looks at that point, because I do feel like that'd be a little easier than just trying to straight up rank 100 players.
Because here's the thing, I saw Chad Ryder on NFL.com. He came up with a 7-round NFL mock draft, and he released round 1 a few days ago. And so this is building a win now team from active players for the 2026 season. So you can pick from any of the active players, obviously. So I'm going to run through his first few, and you'll see certainly a theme. The Raiders would get to select Josh Allen. So this is taking this year's draft as order, and then taking
having
the
them
players
get to
that
draft active players.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Josh Allen would go to the Raiders number 1 overall. The Jets would take Patrick Mahomes number 2. The Cardinals would take Matthew Stafford number 3. The Titans would take Joe Burrow with 4. The Giants would take Lamar Jackson with 5. The Browns, Drake May with 6. The Commanders, Justin Herbert with 7. The Saints, Jordan Love with 8. The Chiefs, Jared Goff with 9. And the Bengals, Trevor Lawrence with 10. I could keep going. But you understand the theme, obviously, as quarterbacks. So if that's how something like this would be done, and by the way, Myles Garrett would be the first non-quarterback, he would go to the Falcons at 13. But the next two after Trevor are Jaden Daniels and Dak Prescott. Jaden would go to the Dolphins, Dak to the Cowboys, ironically enough. But what's interesting, again, about an exercise like this is, so the quarterback is the most important position on the field. So you're telling me that, like, for instance, if Trevor Lawrence is in, let's say, the 70s, but yet if we were doing it the reverse way of how you're going to draft players, you're going to draft the best quarterbacks, the top players. So really, I feel like Burrow, despite the injury last year, Lamar,
still
obviously Mahomes, the injury,
that
and
group
then
of quarterbacks,
right? Allen and all of them, and Stafford and Trevor, I feel like they should be much higher. And again, we'll see how it all shakes out.
Yeah, and that's what I think, because a lot of people, when you're building a team, the first thing you're thinking about is get the quarterback right. When you're ranking just straight players that are the best, that's harder to do, because I do think you could, I'd be interested to see how much time and effort the players voting on this actually put into it, of like, hey, here, let me make a list of my top 10 edge rushers, defensive tackles, corners, and like kind of sort, and then in sort, I would put money they're not putting that much time into it to actually kind of evaluate that. It's more so who you're familiar with, I'm sure, at certain times. If they're in your division, you see them a lot more, so you'll be able to, if you played college with them, you might be like, oh, this guy's an absolute beast. But it is interesting. Also, Drake May, like, I feel like we're getting a little too high on the Drake May train that quickly also, especially after the postseason we just saw. I mean, I get the Super Bowl, but when it comes to like having this easy schedule, and then once you started playing some good defenses, it was a little rough to watch.
It's funny. If you would ask me who finished second in MVP voting, I probably would have said Trevor. Like, my brain totally forgot that Drake May actually finished second. And look, they had a slightly easier regular season schedule. It's going to be a lot harder this year since they won the division. And the Jags also won the division. So also clearly a more difficult schedule. But if you're asking people to choose between Drake May and Trevor Lawrence, I think most would choose Trevor Lawrence. I think if you were asking people to choose between Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, those types of quarterbacks too, and Drake May, I think they would still
lean
pick
the other way.
Yeah, the Calebs and the Jadens of the world. But maybe that's my bias, because I watched him far more closely in the postseason. And he didn't have great performances.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people did, because that's what you were watching up into the Super Bowl, and the whole conversation going in was how much was that going to factor when it came to the schedules, because you were like, okay, well, we're looking at this team and the Patriots that kind of felt like they glided their way, and cool, you win. Like, every week it matters, and we've talked about that before. Like, Liam Cohen was very adamant this year. It's 1 week at a time, just win your games, and that's all that can count. And you get to the Super Bowl, so there's I don't want to like shame it in that sense, but it just felt like the moment that schedule got a little difficult, they still won and they went to the Super Bowl. So there's the part of that argument there, but it definitely
got to play the Broncos without Bo Nix.
Yeah, and then got absolutely annihilated by the Seahawks. And I remember when we were putting our picks in before, I was like, they're going to get crushed. Like, the Seahawks are such a better team than them overall, and especially. And then the one thing that I was talking about, though, I was like, Sam Darnold does deal with some issues when it comes to turning the ball over in the regular season, and then his totally changed, and they kind of reversed spots in that. So I do think that, I guess you give them credit because, and this quickly it takes a team to the Super Bowl, but I do think that sometimes you have to look at the surroundings of what's going on, and it's not always just the quarterback. And we've seen that in recent years of how much would you say Philly won the Super Bowl because of Jalen Hurts, or would you say their defense had almost 80 sacks and it helped them, get the ball back a lot of times? They had takeaways, and they had Saquon Barkley, and that was a large part.
They had the tush push.
They had the tush push, and that's what people would probably point to more than they'd be like, Jalen took over that game and won the Super Bowl. Other like Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, you would say that for.
Yeah, it is interesting that those quarterbacks don't get a lot of credit. When there's a good run game and a good defense, they really elite defenses for both the Eagles and the Seahawks, and elite run games too. But like, people don't give the quarterback as much credit, and it's like, all right, well, I guess they have to do it again.
Yeah, and that's what I feel like some people just need to see it again.
Yeah, and so hopefully we don't see the Patriots in the Super Bowl again. That's the one thing I hope. Because hopefully it's maybe a Jaguars team in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I mean, go back real quick because I know we have to hit break. But, like, think about the 2017 year. If the Jags were 2 minutes away from beating the Patriots and going to the Super Bowl, would this have been this conversation that next year of Blake Bortles as a top 5 quarterback, or would have been Jacksonville and carried them through the season? And so we did that here too, and so we do that for other teams because you kind of see certain times how other things carry fine quarterbacks and good in moments, but not great.
Yeah, it would have been more credit to Leonard Fournette and definitely to the defense. And we nicknamed them Jacksonville for obvious reasons. They also got a ton of takeaways that year. They were so good at that, especially because of that good pass rush. All right, still scoreless there. Portugal, Spain, about 30 minutes into this contest. Little action there. That was a really close shot. I'm not great at soccer play-by-play, but that was close there for Portugal. All right, more to do on the other side, including the golden moment. It's 10 to XL 92.5 FM.
Feel the roar and chase the wind to victory lane.
To the checkered flag! Who gets here first?
Sunday at Echo Park Speedway.
What an incredible finish!
NASCAR is revved up by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 and 1010XL.
Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned and operated business on the First Coast for nearly 20 years. Known for reliability, quality craftsmanship, and professional service, Armstrong Fence handles it all, from big projects like stadiums and schools to your very own backyard. They build a wicked strong fence, and they do it right the first time. When you need a fence in Jacksonville, trust Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Look no further, folks. I found the best wings in Jacksonville. Frank Frangie here. Bono's Barbecue now has the best wings, and my new go-to wing flavors are garlic parm and lemon pepper. Nothing cools you down this summer like their new strawberry lemonade. So head to Bono's today and get 6 wings and a side for $10.99 or a 10-wing basket for just $15.99. But hurry, this deal ends July 31st. To find a Bono's near you, head to bonosbarbecue.com. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Big Chief Tire Monday on helmets and heels.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
College football fans, I'm Greg McGarity, President and CEO of the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Don't miss your last chance to watch college football in Jacksonville before the stadium is renovated. The SEC and ACC face off in Everbank Stadium for this year's Tax Slayer Gator Bowl Wednesday, December 30th at 11:30 a.m. A perfect buy for family stocking stuffers. Act now and get a sizzling summer special of 4 tickets for $100 at TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com. TaxSlayerGatorBowl.com.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long, drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high quality, very affordable hurricane rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World, simply the best for less. And thank you for your business.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
The golden moment to me happened yesterday afternoon when FIFA announced that the disciplinary committee overturned Flo Balogun's one-game suspension, so he will be able to play tonight. Woo-hoo! United States will be at full strength. Belgium, of course, also is a team that's very talented. They have high expectations for every World Cup that they participate in, and it's going to be, I think, a crazy fun game tonight beginning at 8 o'clock. Taylor, at this point in time, now that I'm watching Portugal-Spain, I'm thinking less about our game, so I'm not as nervous as I was when we started the show. Sometimes watching another match does
distract you a little bit.
Distract and relax me a little bit. Oh, and yeah, Spain has been pouring the pressure on Ronaldo's Portugal team.
Yeah, we've seen a few.
Few chances.
A few chances. I was like, oh, I don't know what to call them. But I feel like it is. With the soccer matches, I've been not so nervous. On game day in football, I'm nervous the moment I open my eyes. But with these, it doesn't hit until like 30 minutes before. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, okay. there's a game coming. I'm very
somebody
nervous.
texted in that they said they don't normally drink on Mondays, but the country needs them.
Yeah, he said, I don't really like to drink on a Monday, but my country needs me, so I will sacrifice tonight. And I'm sure there'll be several people sacrificing.
Yes, sacrificing in quotations. I've been superstitious, as you know I always am. I've been wearing this shirt for every match. I have a bracelet that says USA and then another red, white, and blue bracelet. I have to wear those. Mm-hmm. And I have to be on the couch. Brian and I will be on the couch in our spots. And oof. And Portugal just almost scored that time around with Ronaldo. They're leading the charge. So a really fun game so far.
Yeah, my friend texted me last night because I was like, are you going to watch the game out or are you watching it at home? And he was like, I don't know. I've watched all of them at home, so I don't know if I want to like mess that up. And I was like, the funny thing is I think I've watched every game somewhere different, so I have no superstitions for this game right now.
Nice.
I've worn different shirts. I've been different places.
Although, were you out for the game where we lost to Turkey?
So Turkey, that's what I'm trying. I think I was home, actually.
Yeah, so you can't be home.
But then I was home for I was home for the last one, though, because I wasn't feeling great, so I ended up staying home. And so I was like, I've been home and I've watched them. I've been out, I've watched them. Obviously, we were at Mr. Chubby's for the one.
Australia.
And so we'll see. I haven't decided yet what my plans are. It'll depend, like, once I get home and if I'm feeling antsy, I might just be like, all right, let me get out of the house for a little bit and see how this goes. But I am one of those people that if it's not going well at half, I will leave and change my location. I've done that many times for many sporting events. So don't fear, guys. If I'm in the wrong spot, I'll figure it out.
It's funny because friends have asked, obviously, like, what are you guys doing for games? And they're like, we can just watch the first half out. And I'm like, but if we're leading at the half, I'm not going to want to leave and potentially mess up the juju. Yeah. So, but I get it. Like, if you've got kids and, you go out to watch games and things like that. So I do whatever feels right for you. Don't be the crazy superstitious person that I am, because it really does limit you in life.
Yeah.
Really, it does.
I'm bad about it at certain things. I haven't hit that peak here yet, but I could see it happening in certain moments because, football season, it gets bad at times where I'm like, I know how I'm standing is not affecting what is happening in this game, but I feel like I need to go back and sit in the other chair that I was sitting in because that one was working better.
Right, but I feel like I could help the situation. Yeah, 100%. All right, so we were talking about the NFL, of course, and ESPN put out their full roster rankings earlier, and the Jaguars came in at number 16. The Bears came in at number 17. So two teams, obviously the Bears won a postseason game and went toe-to-toe with the Rams. The Jaguars lost their only postseason game to the Bills. I feel like that's a little low for them. I'm not going to be upset like I was with Jalen Ramsey making the top 100 by any means. But I feel like that's a little low for two teams that were in the postseason. But I also feel like these are two teams with coaches that are going to get the best out of them.
Yeah.
And also the sum total of, all the different parts is better than maybe the individual, like they don't have flashy names.
Yeah.
Right? When Josh Hines Allen is one of your superstars on your team, that's not a household. I mean, if you're an NFL fan, it is.
Yeah.
But a casual fan.
It's not Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, and Trey Hendrickson, and like some of those names that people would name right away.
Yeah, the stud pass rushers that have double-digit sacks every single year. And so it doesn't surprise me where they came in, basically.
Yeah. And I think both teams have that. Like, both teams have players that could potentially be absolute stars in this league and maybe have been in flashes at periods of time, but maybe haven't been able to do it consistently. Trevor Lawrence being one of those players where if you just bottle up what he did in those final 6 or 7 games last year, Trevor Lawrence is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Josh Hines Allen, if you take that, it doesn't have to be the 17.5 sack season. You take, if he's hits a double-digit season this year and you have those pressures and other things that he was able to do last year too, and you add that and you get those sack numbers back up, and that automatically you're talking about Josh Hines Allen, because we were talking about that for a period of time of, okay, he's sitting atop with some of the best pass rushers, and now we've kind of fallen back into like he gets a lot of pressures, and the problem is when you're paying somebody that much money, you want to see more than pressures. You want to see the quarterback on the ground. And so you have certain guys that Travis Hunter is one of those for the Jacksonville Jaguars that you could expect to be one in the talks of being some of those best player or one of those best players in the
and
NFL.
He's a question mark right now.
Yeah,
because he wasn't able to
you
play
didn't get a full season.
Yeah.
Brian Thomas Jr. year run rookie season looked like all of a sudden he was skyrocketing towards the top, and then you have kind of a bit of a down season, and now everyone's like, okay, so what is it? And Chicago's kind of the same way, where it's like you have bits of things, but to your point, you don't feel like they have these like absolute consistent stars yet. But I do think that both teams I was going through just the teams ahead of them, and there's the obvious ones at the top. The Rams and the Seahawks are going to be up there. The Bills are going to be up there. The Ravens are going to be up there. I do think those rosters are just a little deeper. The Detroit Lions for sure. So there are some where I'm like, I get it, but then you do get to that mid-range where I'm like, I don't know if I'd say the Green Bay Packers roster is better. I mean, I guess Micah Parsons kind of ups some of that, but outside of that, you're talking about Christian Watson and Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden and Luke Musgrave and Jordan Morgan and Jordan Love and Carl Brooks and Lucas Van Ness. You're telling me that is that from 10 to 17, 18. Like, I just don't see that big of a discrepancy in that roster.
Jordan Love gets so much more. Jordan Love
weird.
And Justin Herbert get a ton of love, and I just don't really,
I don't understand.
Yeah, fully understand.
I did see too, PFF, I think, put out an article earlier talking about
Their
they
top
ranked
10
the coaches.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't have Liam or Ben Johnson on their top 10. And I was like, what are we doing? And
seriously,
granted, I was looking at, there's some really good coaches in the NFL right now. You're talking about McShays and Shanahan's and McVay and McDonald. And I don't even know if they had Sirianni on the list, honestly. But there was some good ones. But then you have other ones where I'm like, I feel like you have to start thinking about it a little bit. Like Dan Campbell's really 5th or 6th or something like that. And I'm like, look, I love Dan Campbell. And we had the bite the kneecap and the aggressiveness and things like that. But outside of the time that Ben Johnson's been there, he has a losing record in Detroit. And then you talk about Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur completely crumbles in the playoffs multiple times so far. And if you didn't expand it, they expanded in 2021 when they changed to the 7 seed. Jordan Love wouldn't have even made the playoffs since in this last 4 or 5 years, whatever it is now at this point. And so I do think sometimes they value some of these teams without taking into account some of the recency. And you can't, after one bad year or mediocre year or whatever, drop somebody. But I think you can say, hey, was this an outlier? How much was it your coaching staff? You lose both your offensive coordinators and you immediately kind of regress and the Lions, and there's other things that factor into that. But then you have two coaches like a Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson who come in and completely change the way their quarterbacks are playing, take these teams to the postseason right away. You completely flip the number here in Jacksonville when it comes to the win-loss record, and you're not taking that into account at all to say they're one of the best coaches in the NFL after doing that after 1 year with a team, and you're telling a team that doesn't even have a top 15 roster.
And they're the play callers too, which I always think adds an extra element as well. The offensive play callers. So yeah, anytime that type of stuff occurs, we put it in the box of William Cohen can use this for fuel.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll use that for fuel when it's about himself versus the team, but you never know. We shall see. All right, one segment to go. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. Find them online at wekeepjacksrollin.com. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Frank Frangie here. Truck buyers, listen up. Right now at Nimnick Chevrolet, you get 0% financing for 60 months on a new Chevy Silverado. 0% for 5 years. Rates haven't been this low in years. Plus, Nimnick Chevrolet's got the largest selection of Silverado trucks in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. Here's what's better. You know they're going to treat you right. I've been buying trucks there forever. I trust Nimnick. It's a great experience for me. It will be for you, too. The best rate, the best prices, the best service. Where? Well, that's easy. Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
Wait, is that Ronaldinho? Ronaldinho, you think Brazil will win it all this summer? Claro que sí.
Can I just say, you're my favorite player, ever.
Bet all of soccer's biggest matches this summer on Hard Rock Bet. And keep your cool in case you run into Ronaldinho. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and back your country. Roll with us. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Hey Jacksonville, it's Fred Taylor. If you've been in an auto accident, you need a team who knows how to get you back on your feet and back to your life. At North Florida Medical Center, they don't just treat the injury, they treat the whole person, from physical therapy to pain management. North Florida Medical Center has a team of experts ready to help you heal and recover. I trust the team here at North Florida Medical Center, and you can too. So don't wait. Call North Florida Medical Center and get the care you deserve.
Hey, gang, Prosser here. Nothing like a good promise kept, and that's what you get from the Promise Keepers, Chad and Sandy at Chad and Sandy Realty. Your home sold guaranteed, or they'll buy it. Chad and Sandy have the largest pool of buyers in the area. Their home selling program is designed to maximize your sales, and the proof is there. Need max price? Chad and Sandy's science-based system is a proven, repeatable system guaranteed to sell, or they wouldn't offer you this promise. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they'll buy it. No required repairs. Pick your move date. You are good to go. Robert at Cordova Palms in St. Augustine said, I needed to downsize, but my home had already been listed with another agent for 136 days and failed to sell. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio, decided to give them a try, made all the difference, bought me a full price offer just 18 days. They can for you too. Go to ChadandSandy.com.
Renovations are underway at the golf club at Southampton, but that doesn't mean you still can't come out and hone your game. The practice facility is open Tuesday through Sunday with a great membership offer to work on your game year-round. Log on to golfsouthampton.com or check out their Facebook page. Work on your tee game, iron play, shots around the green, and of course your putting. It's all there and a great way to stay fresh until they unveil fresh new greens in October. Check it all out at the golf club at Southampton. Call 287-PLAY.
Celebrate America's birthday all this month with a dozen roses from Kuhn Flowers, only $49.95. Buy any color or color combination. A dozen roses, just $49.95 at Kuhn Flowers this month. KuhnFlowers.com.
Pick it here for Oceanside Cleaners, the very best in dry cleaning service. Free pickup and delivery, or use their self-service kiosk in Ponte Vedra and Southside for drop-off and pickup. Dry cleaning, laundry, bedding, and bridal gown preservation. If it's got fabric, they can clean it. Oceanside Cleaners.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Jared Justice filling in for RJ Saunders, doing a fantastic job. RJ off today, will be back with us tomorrow. Same as Tom McManus, who is off today. He'll be back with us tomorrow, hopefully having a great time down in Orlando watching his youngest perform.
Oh, yeah.
A fantastic dancer. We're about to head out to Twin Peaks, and so really just a few moments away from saying hello to the Frangie Show there. It's going to be insane at Twin Peaks in just a little bit.
It's going to be a blast everywhere. And I think, I mean, it's been such a good time, and we've talked about this a lot today, but it's been so fun to kind of see everybody coming together and some people learning the sport at one time, or maybe learning more. I feel like a lot of people know the base of soccer, but they never knew kind of all the other things. Now you're figuring out.
Now they know stoppage time.
Yeah, they're like, oh, stoppage time, and this is what offside is, and this is
Set
what
pieces.
Free kick is, and that's certain things. I'm like, always heard all the words, and I honestly thought free kick and penalty kick were like opposite of what they were. And so then I'm like, oh, well, this makes a lot more sense when you actually know the terminology of what is going on. But
Inside the box for a PK.
Credit to JJ too. He's done such a great job of like just me personally, all of the things that he's kind of taught me, from being on the show to his reaction shows to just having conversations with him. And I see a ton of texts on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures to constantly of saying like, thanks JJ for like leading the way of like, this World Cup and all, like kind of teaching me all of these different things. So it's been really fun. And you, obviously, both of you have taught me a ton throughout this time. And it's a blast. And so I'm sure places everywhere are going to be wild tonight. That's just, when you need USA to show out, they show out. That's one thing for sure.
Just about 4 hours away, but just a moment away from saying hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hayes Carline joins us live from Twin Peaks. Set the scene for us, Hayes.
Yeah, it's already really fired up, lively crowd here already as Portugal-Spain gets ready to head to halftime. At 0-0 right now. Hopefully Portugal can, I guess, pull what would be it would not upset, like not a crazy upset, but I think if you're the U.S., you'd probably rather see Portugal than Spain. So hopefully Portugal can do us a solid. But yeah, it's great crowd already. We're certainly looking forward to being out here at Twin Peaks for the Frangie Show. Frank on vacation this week, but Hacker kind enough to sit in with us all week, so we're certainly excited about that. And we're going to break down the U.S. game against Belgium tonight at 8 from every angle. Obviously, Hacker is very invested in this. We know about JJ, as you guys mentioned, has done a great job, is the station expert on all this. And we're gonna go through everything, all the nuances of this matchup, what the U.S. has to watch out for, the weaknesses maybe that Belgium is going to have to counter. Obviously, massive controversy with Balogun playing tonight. So lots to get to, but we're going to go through this tournament. I mean, you look at what, England surviving in Mexico, Cape Verde giving Argentina all they had. Brazil is out. Norway has this phenom that looks like Brock Lesnar on a soccer field. I mean, it's been such an incredible tournament so far. So we'll talk a little bit of Jags. We'll talk some Billy Donovan going to the Spurs. But for the most part, this is a day for U.S. soccer. Hopefully will be a day that we look back upon many years from now as one of the pivotal points of the U.S. soccer program really reaching new heights in this country. So looking forward to bring it to you guys. Live from Twin Peaks, come see us. We're here on Atlantic. We'll be here until 6 o'clock, but obviously the party will be going well into the night here at Twin Peaks, hopefully celebrating a U.S. victory.
Hayes, I get a little bit of like Jags in the playoff type of vibe from this city right now, right? Like, I know everyone is cheering for the United States, whereas not everyone cheers for the Jags, but just that sense of excitement that you get going to the gas station or going to the grocery store, riding bikes on the 4th, seeing all the people in the U.S. stuff. Like, I do get a little bit of that vibe.
I think so, because now when you think about it, they beat Paraguay like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So you've had like 3 weeks of the momentum building, and even the losing to Turkey didn't really matter because everybody knew that was basically an exhibition with nothing on the line. The U.S. had already wrapped up everything. So I agree. I think you're hitting a crescendo tonight. But I think over these last 3 weeks, I mean, I'm certainly in that camp. I wasn't really looking that much forward to the World Cup. I mean, I've become engrossed in it. I've really loved watching all throughout the weekend. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but certainly it's been a great run for the U.S. Hopefully they can continue it because I agree with you. I think the passion and enthusiasm for this team it surprised me how much it is, I think, galvanized everybody even beyond the diehard soccer fan.
All right, sounds good. Well, Twin Peaks is the place to be. Go check out Hayes Carline and Hacker. They've got it for you. And, of course, JJ back here at 1010XL headquarters. Thanks, gentlemen. Looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.
All right, and once again, United States kicks off against Belgium just a little over 4 hours away. So get your popcorn ready and lock in for tonight. And that game did go to halftime between Portugal and Spain, 0-0. So certainly Hazen Hacker will keep you updated with that score. And he mentioned Billy Donovan to join the Spurs as a lead assistant. So staying in basketball, which is good for Billy D. All right, that'll do it for us. For the vacationing Tom McManus and RJ Saunders, for Taylor Dahl, for Jared Justice, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully a victory Tuesday around these parts.
USA.
That's right.
USA.
But don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show live from Twin Peaks.